Now, before we get into today's video, I want to preface it by saying that we're going to be talking a lot about aim. But please, keep in mind that aim shouldn't be the only thing you're worried about in this game. Getting good aim is easy, honestly, but mastering agents, the current meta, or understanding maps isn't. So we at SkillCapped have courses on each topic to save you time and help you rank up faster. It's all backed by a rank improvement guarantee, so if you don't rank up while using our service, you'll get your money back. So quit wasting time, hop onto skillcapped.com, and get started climbing ranks today. Now let's get into the video. The most thing talked about in the Valorant community, by far, is aim. It's like it's the only thing that people really care about. That's all I hear. And I mean, it's fair. Guns in this game are really strong, maybe too strong, and it's designed around making you feel good when you tap on somebody's head. But honestly, I think a lot of people don't really understand what makes somebody's aim, well, good. It's a term that's tossed around too much. So today, we're going over what goes into someone having good aim. And it's a lot more simple than you think. But before we jump into anything about aiming itself, we need to talk about practice. Now, some of you won't believe me, but people like Tens, Ye, CNED, Asuna weren't born with the incredible talent that they have. They've been playing FPS games for years before Valorant, and they've been trying to perfect their craft for all these years. Here, have a listen to what some CSGO pros said in regards to their aim training.
7 years ago, like back 2013, 2014, when I just started being a professional, I used to smash out the aimbots. It was like in between a tournament, if we're playing like 4 maps in a day, I'd be like smashing out 1k bots at least between every single like map. Like keep going and going. But now I think like all I need is just maybe like 15 to 20 minutes of deathmatch and I'm feeling good and warmed up.
Like for the past 10 years and every time I basically play deathmatch every day, at least half an hour or something like that. Yeah. Like literally every day, even on off days, always playing. Like my role was like at least play some Counter-Strike every day, even if it's not much.
Yeah.
Ever since 2 months, I decided to like take it much more easy and to be like, okay, maybe after 10 years of career, maybe I have it in my wrist. It's already there.
Don't get me wrong, you can argue that these people have some level of natural talent, but that doesn't dismiss the amount of hours of grinding they've put into these games. So if you think that you can just hop into a game and start clicking heads like these guys, you're wrong. Skills like these take time. If you want to be good at something, anything really, you need to practice.
No. Practice? Not the game. You talking about practice? All right, I gotta get to practice.
And when people think about practicing their aim or training their aim, the first thing that comes to mind are trainers like Kovacs. But believe it or not, these programs aren't the best way to train your aim. And many pros agree with me. Here's a tweet from Optics Ye about aim trainers. Wanted to ask any pros, do these aim labs or FPS trainers actually help you? I feel like for me, after I switch to an actual game, my aim is off and I have to readjust it. This applies even when I match sensitivity. Here's another clip from Asuna's stream, where he talks about these trainers.
They practice games such as aim labs and Kovacs, it's a waste of time. A saucy, things are prime. If you just play the game, as long as you're mentally able to play the game a lot, you should probably just do that. The only hard part's mentally. That's why people use aim trainers, I feel like. Or they feel like they're bad at like rank, and they want something else to boost their confidence.
He says they're a waste of time, and then hits a nasty 3K after dissing on them. Now don't get me wrong, these trainers aren't useless. If you're trying to warm up your hands, or if you're new to FPS games, then these are great. But a good rule of thumb is that if you want to get good at Kovacs, play Kovacs. If you want to get better at Valorant, play Valorant. And yes, that means taking advantage of the range, deathmatches, and ranked as much as possible, no matter how frustrating they may be. And another concept to debunk is that good aim isn't about flicking your mouse across your screen, just tapping on everybody. This is why aim training routines like Grid Shot aren't the best for improving your aim, but instead are good for warming up. Good aim is more about where your crosshair is placed, so you don't have to move your mouse so much. Have a listen to one of the best, if not the best, aimer in the world talk about it.
What's the most efficient way to improve my aim? Like a lot of people think that you have to have perfect flicks to have good aim. In a game like this, crosshair placement makes a world of difference. So in terms of like being the best with your aim plus being more consistent, crosshair placement, and just always being like head level, it makes your life way easier. It makes you flick less. If you have to flick less, it makes you more consistent.
With good crosshair placement, you should never have to flick your mouse around, as it should always be at head level. The only time you would move it are for micro adjustments, depending on how or when your opponent swings out. Take a look at this clip I hit in my rank game the other day.
Oh! Spike. One behind you.
To dust.
Oh!
Three killed.
One enemy remaining.
Now, how much should I actually have to move my mouse? Barely. With good crosshair placement, you no longer have to rely on your flicks, which are inconsistent most of the time, and you can get kills 10 times easier, I promise. And the way you get better crosshair placement is simply by playing the game more. The more often you're in a variety of situations, the better you'll respond to them in the future. For example, if you're pushing A on Haven, a newer player's crosshair might be here, high next to this box, when in reality, their crosshair should be adjusted to account for the height difference and angle advantage. And if you don't know what angle advantage is, I highly suggest you check out one of our other videos explaining it. It's something really important if you want to get good at crosshair placement. But these are things that aim trainers can't prepare you for, and only in-game game modes will help you with. What I used to do when I was in gold was I would hop into custom and go around the map tracing corners, clearing angles, and holding good crosshair placement. And while you're playing your ranked games or death matches, you should think about where your crosshair is aimed at. This advice might not sound good, but over time you'll stop thinking about the crosshair placement and it'll become second nature to you, like blinking or breathing. You won't even have to think about it. So your aim might suck at first, but that's okay because...
Dude, sucking at something is the first step towards being sorta good at something.
Once you don't suck, you're going to start developing the most important part to having good aim, and that's raw confidence. This might be hard to believe, but if you aren't confident, you will miss. This concept applies to literally every sport or activity. Basketball, baseball, football, soccer. If you aren't confident in your abilities, you're going to play worse. That means if you whiff, misplay, do something dumb, you can't let that destroy your confidence. If the enemy team is just countering everything you do, you can't let that kill your mental, or you're going to lose. With this mindset, you will not rank up. Listen to this clip.
The teams obviously try to stop you. That's the way to stop the Warriors, cut the head off the snake. It bothered you at times last year in the playoffs. What have you learned from that experience?
That those times are temporary. Just keep my confidence, keep my aggressiveness. I prepared well to this summer to continue to get better and learn from those mistakes, I'll call them. They're gonna happen, there's no avoiding that, but just making sure that it doesn't kill your confidence and it doesn't change the way you're playing. You have to be obviously get smarter and kind of figure it out. And then maybe find other ways to impact the game, whether it's on the defensive end, getting stops, getting steals, pushing the tempo. I don't always need to be making shots to hopefully impact the game, so.
What Stephen Curry says here even applies to Valorant. Just because you whiff, blind your teammates, misplay, you can't let these things affect your mental or your game. Or maybe the enemy team is shutting you down. There are other things you can do to help your team win. And confidence stems from preparation. If you believe that you put in the time to improve and play well, then you will. Now, something that takes a good amount of preparation doesn't even involve aiming itself, but instead how you're moving your agent. What I find, even in my own gameplay, is that I'll still be moving when I'm shooting. While yes, it may seem like people are moving and shooting you all the time, it actually loses you more gunfights than not. People get too excited sometimes and start shooting before they're even at a complete standstill. So there'll be times when you're telling yourself, oh, where are my bullets going? But in reality, you were never at a complete standstill before you took the gunfight. The way that I practice breaking this bad habit is by hopping into a deathmatch and reminding myself of the 3 S's: see, stop, and shoot. And if you want to break that habit, you should be doing the same. By telling yourself this on repeat and actually focusing on yourself doing these things, you'll start doing it naturally in your game. This is essentially counter-strafing. Some people will tell you that you need to press the opposite directional key to do it properly, but simply letting go literally works just as well. So everything we've talked about so far sounds pretty fundamental, and that's what aiming is. It's basic fundamentals of the game, but it takes a lot of practice and refinement to get it down consistently. The more consistent you make your aim, the more you'll start to see yourself rank up and improve. And there are some things that we haven't even talked about yet, like eating right, sleeping right, making sure you're getting enough exercise. All of these things do play a good factor into your aiming abilities. Like I said, good aim isn't complicated. And if you combine everything we talked about in this video into one, you'll notice yourself ranking up and improving that aim. It takes time and dedication to refine these skills to their purest form, but over time, I know you can do it. So what does this look like? Here we have a clip from Optics Jetmain, Yay. He is arguably the best aimer in Valorant, and this clip from his stream kinda proves it. If we slow it down, I want you to pay attention to how smooth and how crisp his movements are with his mouse. There is literally zero wasted movement with his mouse. His crosshair is always at head level. He's only making micro adjustments when needed, like on the first kill. Even against the chamber, he anticipates the wide swing, so he holds his crosshair at a wider angle, and he barely has to move his mouse at all. Granted, he didn't win the round, but the enemy team will definitely think twice about running at him next time he's the last alive. And this is what consistent practice and dedication looks like. Yeah, I don't expect this from all of you, but you too can hit this level. It just takes practice. This was all just one in-depth guide that we have on our website though. Also, if you want a chance at having your VOD reviewed, be sure to subscribe on our website at SkillCapped.com. We also have tons of rating Smurf commentaries where we have rating level players walk you through exactly how to play in any situation at literally any rank. And they're just super helpful to see in real time what goes through a top tier player's head. Like I said, it's also backed by our rank improvement guarantee, and the reason we do that is because we're just that confident that our service works. And if it doesn't work while you're using it, you shouldn't pay. So what are you waiting for? You got nothing to lose. Head on over to SkillCapped.com and get started on your way to that rank that you deserve. So hopefully you guys have a better understanding as to what defines good aim and how you can get it. Long story short, it's pretty simple. But, like in any other game, if you can fine-tune your fundamentals and keep a good mental, you won't find it hard to rank up fast. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel down below. It really does help us out. And that's all for us. I'm Teets, and we here at SkillCapped want to thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.